I am Galahad, warrior of the Grand Order, defender of Phandaline. I am here to make my record for the Harpers on the deed of my group, the lead adventuring group for the Grand Order. These are the deeds which have led me to this point. We had defeated the spider. His head lay at my feet. I cut him down with my sword, and we determined that he had been in communion with Jarlaxle, a notorious drow, and apparently one of the powers of the city of Luskan. The leader of a group of drow who, from the sound of it, aren't as evil as drow are often assumed to be, but still very dangerous. My encounters with drow leave me skeptical. He assured us that he was going to maintain an interest in the goings-on of this mine, which the group didn't seem terribly frightened of or concerned with, so as long as it keeps making money for our group, I suspect they'll be all right. And as the group gets the items that had been promised them, of course. We opened the chamber of the Crucible of Spells. It was a large room with a crucible, that is a large cauldron, suspended over arcane flames that were burning rather low. As we entered, rising up beyond the cauldron was a creature. It was floating round, several eyes coming out of its head and a large central eye. Some of you who are experienced with such things might think that it was a creature called a beholder, but not quite. This one was called a spectator. It is a creature commonly bound for sentry duty to protect an area. This one was doing just that, preventing the cauldron from being used by anything else. Since nothing else was able to get through the sealed gate, it had been idle for 500 or more years, and was possibly a little turned. We dealt with it with words rather than steel. It was not averse to our group, and as we had spellcasters, it felt bound by its rules of why it was there, to guard the cauldron for the mages that summoned it. At this point, we had access to the library of enchanting rituals, recipes, and whatnot. Nothing that concerns me, but Glint and some of the others were overjoyed at this discovery. I offered the spectator some food, as it had been stuck in this room by itself for a great deal of time, and it turned it down. Apparently it had been gnawing upon the corpse of a mouse that had ended up in the cauldron. The mouse actually looked like it was in fairly good shape. Since nobody wanted the mouse to continue to absorb the magic, and it should be turned over towards the construction of magical items they cared about, I took the mouse out. I figured, since I didn't have a great deal to the spider that I had just felled, someone else took the staff that he wielded, I was going to beat something with this mouse if I had to. So we talked to Gundren. Everything seemed to be as ideal as it could have been, but I had misgivings. So I went back out and looked out, and I saw a glow on the horizon in the direction of Phandaline. I feared something had happened in our absence, and Jarlaxle had hinted at that as well, that there was something amiss in Phandaline. I knew that the one that had been sent to oversee the keep being reconstructed, Aosin? No. Emion. Emion was there, and as a powerful wizard, his presence would help keep the town and the keep safe. But that was troubling. So, we took our leave of the mines. The dwarves traveled with us to some extent, although they could not travel at our speed. Actually, no, they stayed behind. I digress. I was in too much of a hurry. The others had all already dealt with the enchanting books and research and so on, but I was eager to get back to Phandaline to see what could be done there. When we approached Phandaline at a brisk pace, we saw that the town had sported several fires. It looked like they were in a state of prolonged raiding. We saw kobolds skulking through the streets, and what looked like the cult of the dragon had brought their fury down upon the town. We, being subtle, I was wearing my stealth garb at the time, we moved in. We slaughtered a group of kobolds that were attempting to attack the lady who oversaw the Lion Shield Coster, herself attempting to defend several villagers who were trying to escape town. Then we swept into the town ourselves, cutting down cultists like ripened wheat. We eventually saw a large group of them assaulting the home of, well, what was the tending priest of the town. In this case, Rosaria, who, of course, follows Timora. I am distracted. And there were a large number of them patrolling. When they saw us, they came en masse. Some of them looked like they were low-ranking functionaries of the cult, but they were supplemented with mercenaries. I know of a mercenary company that does not love the Grand Order, the former associates of the Grand Order that had departed. I can't help but believe they may have had numbers within this group. I moved forward to challenge them. The rage at what had happened in attacking this town in its defenseless state overtook me. We had also seen that a dragon was attacking the town, a green dragon. Not the young one that we had tangled with. This one was much larger, but it bore injuries similar to those we had dealt to the green dragon. It seems that this cult of the dragon has the ability to magically age dragons to attain greater power. It's too bad that it didn't give it greater insight, or it might have given up on this foolish attack. But Emion was fighting it and trying to hold it off. Also, adventurers for the Grand Order had populated the keep and were attempting to drive off the dragon-like fashion. But the dragon was pernicious. That was their fight. We were attempting to defeat these cultists and mercenaries, and while I cut several of them down, and the battle was never in doubt, our group could easily have swept them aside. Would have been even more convincing if Art was there. Unfortunately, he slipped off or something. But as we were fighting them, the dragon came, did a pass when it noticed us. Unfortunately, it appears that it's not used to its new bulk, and it missed us with its deadly breath, instead killing off the rest of the cultists. The enemy of my enemy is, well, still an enemy. The dragon is still going to die. But he was flying, again, a familiar foe. Nothing that I could really do. I threw a javelin or two at it. There was not much I could functionally do. It was very frustrating. I just about threw Lydia at it to try to bring it down or wear it down or injure its wings or some such. But that did not happen. The dragon got rocked by swords that were magically conjured by Emion's magic that seemed to deal some significant damage to the dragon, enough so that it flew away, roaring about how it was cheated out of its revenge by the mage. And I was cheated out of my revenge because the coward flew out of my range. We were a bit battered, but realistically, we swept the dragon cult out of the town without great difficulty. It was at the end, when we saw their leadership departing slowly, that we thought we could do some lasting damage. So I moved forward and challenged, ready to attack them. One of them stopped. It was a half-dragon. Blue half-dragon. And he met my challenge. Well, I don't remember much. I raged, but I did not frenzy, but I attacked. I was already wounded. He was not. He was more experienced than I was. And though I scored a blow or two, the greatest surprise that I could do to him was punching him with that mouse. It was strange. It caused a blast and surrounded us in a bubble. Help was not forthcoming either way. He beat me down. There's nothing more to be said for it. I was already wounded, and he the more experienced warrior. But he did not chop my head off or slit my throat. Others said he did something, possibly attempting to tend to my wounds. Tamura was with me. I awoke from my injuries, and with him above me, I attempted to grapple him, but I could not, and in my weakened state, I acknowledged that he was the better warrior in that fight. He wanted me to remember his name. Oh, what was it? Landragosa. So I must attain greater power before I can face him again. I admit I was outmatched. But I was not in an ideal circumstance either. Next time. I've got a list of grudges that a dwarf would be proud of. Of course, my number are dragon cultists and a dragon, so we talked to Emion about the state of affairs overall, and it was decided that the dragon cult had really departed relatively empty-handed. The raid upon the town didn't get them much. Some villagers died, but not many, considering. The dragon was injured and driven off. Who knows if he'll be back again. But it is important that they not think that this town is undefended. This is when I made the decision that even though the group is going to go and continue to harass the dragon cultists and try to end their threat, the main avenue of their flight appears to be towards the city of Waterdeep, a city so large that they can vanish within it. So, our group is determined, now that that happened, they are going to pursue, but I will remain here. This town needs protection, and I will do that. Instead, I am turning this recording crystal over to another. One of the people who has decided to join them in my absence was one of the defenders of the keep. He is a dwarf, and I know that they value magical works and such, and records. This one will keep a good record for me. And it is in this way that I am turning it over now. My part of the story, at least this part of the story, is over. I will continue to work on the defense of this town, watch it grow, and then, once it is no longer in danger, and I'm certain that the cult has had setbacks that don't set their sights here anymore, perhaps I will rejoin with my group. The entire time, though, I will be a member of the Grand Order, still upholding its honor. And so in this, I, myself, bid you farewell as I hand over this crystal to a new master. May the Grand Order prosper and triumph. Thank you and farewell.
Greetings to ye. I am Corbrecht Cinderflume, and it is my pleasure to hold this crystal and make these records for the party I belong to. I am a thaumaturge of the great Cinderflume clan of brewers, but my talents have taken me to study the mystical arts as well. So I can craft a tidy brew and then cast spells on top of it. I am here as record keeper, as I said, to these the heroes of Phandaline. So going forward, you'll be hearing from me. When we set forth, we ran into a bard. Seems kind of a manky fellow, but the group seems to like him well enough. His name is Leosin. And Leosin said that the cult of the dragon had taken up a mountain pass, and is how they flooded into Phandaline to make that bit of a scrap-up that we had with them. So we decided that we would pay them back blood for blood. We are now pursuing them, heading overland. It'll take a bit of a feeling out, as they do not yet know my power, but they seem to be fine enough fellow for the most part. But time will tell. I can only say that I think that we can mold them in the dwarven fashion to be as fearsome a group of heroes as they can possibly be. I mean, one from the other is not alike, but together maybe those differences will make all of the difference. I cannot say for sure. I am still learning my place here. But I intend to show them the advantages of dwarven thaumaturgy in their group. And moving forward, I wouldn't mind carving my name into the history books alongside of this group. So I will do my best alongside of them. And look forward to putting an end to this dragon nonsense. These lesser minds that seem to think that dragons hold their answers. Until next time, I will hold this crystal, and I will reveal the story as we go forth. Care Baranaga!